Ayala sends the defending champion to an early exit in Washington.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're breaking down one of the biggest matches of the Mubadala DC Open in Washington, D.C., as Alexandra Ayala faced defending champion Leylah Fernandez in the round of 32. This was never going to be an easy challenge. Fernandez arrived as the reigning champion, determined to defend her title, while Eala needed a victory to continue her impressive run into the round of 16. Despite being only 21 years old, Eala was up against the experienced 23-year-old Fernandez. Both players are left-handed, making this a fascinating tactical battle. Their only previous meeting came at the Stuttgart Open, where Fernandez defeated Eala. That loss gave this match an added layer of motivation, turning it into the perfect opportunity for Eala to settle the score. From the very beginning, Alex once again showed why she has become one of the most exciting young players on the WTA Tour. Even when the momentum shifted against her, she never stopped fighting. Her determination, resilience, and refusal to give up became the story of the match as she battled all the way to an unforgettable comeback victory over the defending champion. Fernandez also displayed tremendous sportsmanship after the match, congratulating Eala despite the tough loss. It was a classy moment between two outstanding competitors and a reminder of the respect they have for one another. Now let's break down exactly how this incredible match unfolded. The opening set began cautiously as both players tried to find their rhythm through a series of short rallies. Eala quickly claimed the opening point after Fernandez pushed a forehand wide. That early success immediately gave Alex confidence on serve. One of the biggest talking points throughout the opening games was Eala's improved serving. The commentators repeatedly praised the noticeable improvement in her delivery, and it immediately paid dividends. She fired powerful serves that Fernandez struggled to return, earning several free points and establishing control from the baseline. As the rallies continued, Eala dictated the pace beautifully. While Fernandez was still adjusting to the conditions, she committed several unforced errors, allowing Alex to build an early advantage. Eala mixed aggressive ground strokes with excellent court positioning, forcing the defending champion into uncomfortable situations. By the middle of the first set, Eala had built a commanding 4-2 lead. Every time Fernandez attempted to mount a response, another mistake followed. Alex consistently attacked the open court, moving Fernandez from side to side before finishing the point with clean winners. Serving with confidence, Eala continued applying pressure. Fernandez managed to get her racket on several returns, but Alex's placement and shot selection proved too strong. One perfectly placed forehand into the open court left Fernandez with no chance of recovery, extending Eala's lead even further. The momentum remained entirely on Eala's side. Another aggressive exchange forced Fernandez into yet another error, and before long, Alex had stretched her advantage to 5-2. She never looked back. With complete control of the opening set, Eala closed it out in dominant fashion, winning 6-2. It was one of her strongest sets of the tournament, highlighted by confident serving, aggressive shot-making, and outstanding composure against the defending champion. However, the second set told a completely different story. Fernandez came out with renewed intensity and immediately raised her level. The player who struggled with errors in the first set suddenly found her rhythm, while Eala began making more mistakes than before. The momentum shifted dramatically. Fernandez started controlling both the pace and direction of the rallies, forcing Eala out of position repeatedly. Instead of reacting to Alex's attacks, she became the aggressor, dictating where every point would be played. As the games passed, Fernandez steadily increased her lead. Eala struggled to find answers, and several receiving errors allowed the defending champion to pull away. What had been a comfortable match suddenly became an uphill battle. One clever point perfectly illustrated the momentum shift. Fernandez disguised one of her shots with heavy spin, making it appear as though it would land long. Eala wisely let it go, only to watch it drop inside the baseline for another point against her. By the sixth game of the second set, Fernandez had completely seized control. More return errors from Eala handed the defending champion easy points, allowing her to extend the score to a dominant 5-1 advantage. At that stage, it looked almost certain that the match was heading to a deciding third set. But this was exactly where Alexandra Ayala showed the fighting spirit that has made her one of the brightest rising stars in women's tennis. Trailing 5-1, many players would have mentally checked out. Eala appeared frustrated. Her first serves began missing the target, and even her body language suggested fatigue. It seemed as though the second set might already be over. Then everything changed. A long rally finally developed, playing directly into Eala's strengths. Instead of rushing points, she stayed patient from the baseline, forcing Fernandez to hit one extra shot. Eventually, Fernandez blinked first, sending the ball wide to hand Eala a much-needed point. That single rally completely changed the atmosphere. Eala suddenly rediscovered her confidence, cutting the deficit to 5-2. Every point became more competitive, and Fernandez began feeling the pressure for the first time since taking control of the set. Another extended exchange followed, and once again Eala's patience paid off. Fernandez committed another unforced error, allowing Alex to close the gap even further. Then came an important moment. Fernandez committed consecutive service faults, giving Eala another opportunity to attack. It was becoming clear that the defending champion was beginning to feel the physical and mental pressure created by Alex's relentless fight back. Eala capitalized, winning another game to make it 5-3. The momentum had completely shifted. Alex attacked aggressively from the very first ball, sending deep ground strokes into the corners and forcing Fernandez farther behind the baseline. On one point, Eala drove the ball deep to the left side before covering the middle of the court perfectly, leaving Fernandez with no passing option and securing yet another point. The comeback was officially underway, and the defending champion suddenly found herself under immense pressure as Alexandra Ayala continued to fight for every single point. The momentum continued to swing in Eala's favor as another rally unfolded between the two players. These were exactly the kinds of exchanges Alex wanted. She trusted her consistency, knowing that if she could extend the rally, Fernandez would eventually be forced into a mistake. Once again, that strategy paid off as Fernandez sent a shot into the net, handing Eala another crucial point. The next rally followed a familiar pattern. Eala patiently controlled the ball from the baseline, moving Fernandez around the court until she finally caught her out of position. Seeing the opening, Alex fired a precise winner into the open court, extending her comeback. Another long exchange soon developed, and once again Eala's patience made the difference. Fernandez couldn't keep up with the relentless pace and eventually committed another unforced error. Alex's ability to stay calm during extended rallies was becoming the deciding factor in the match. What had looked impossible only minutes earlier was suddenly becoming reality. Eala had trailed 5-1 in the second set, but through determination and disciplined tennis, she battled all the way back to make it 5-4. The pressure was now completely on the defending champion. Game 11 proved to be one of the biggest turning points of the match. The rallies became quicker and more aggressive, but Fernandez continued struggling with errors while Eala played with growing confidence. Another extended baseline exchange ended with Fernandez finding the net once again. It was becoming increasingly clear that fatigue was beginning to affect Fernandez. Eala recognized it immediately and continued making her opponent work for every single point. Instead of rushing to finish rallies, Alex stayed patient, forcing Fernandez to hit one extra shot over and over again until another mistake arrived. The comeback was complete. From trailing 5-1, Eala stormed back to take a remarkable 6-5 lead. The defending champion suddenly found herself one game away from defeat after appearing to have complete control only moments earlier. However, Fernandez refused to surrender. Showing the resilience of a defending champion, she responded with an impressive service game, winning consecutive points to level the score at 6-6 and force a decisive tiebreak. Everything would now come down to 7 points. The tiebreak began with Eala serving. Fernandez successfully returned the serve, but Alex immediately stepped into the next shot and unleashed a powerful ground stroke. Fernandez got her racket on the ball, but the pace proved too much as her return sailed wide. Eala quickly doubled her advantage. The next point featured another short rally before Fernandez attempted to take control of the center of the court. Once again, however, she failed to keep the ball inside the lines, giving Alex a commanding 2-0 lead. Another baseline exchange followed, playing directly into Eala's strengths. Fernandez tried changing direction by sending the ball cross-court, But another unforced error increased Alex's advantage to 3-0. In a tiebreak, every single point carries enormous pressure, and Eala was handling it beautifully. Fernandez finally got on the scoreboard after constructing an excellent point, covering the middle of the court effectively before finishing with a clean winner to make it 3-1. But Alex answered immediately. Serving once again, Eala forced another weak return before crushing a powerful forehand that Fernandez simply couldn't control. The defending champion's reply flew long, extending Alex's lead to 4-1. The pressure continued to build. On the following point, Fernandez once again found the net, another costly, unforced error that pushed Eala within touching distance of victory at 5-1. Only 2 more points separated Alex from one of the biggest wins of her season. Every rally became more intense as both players understood the importance of each shot. Eala stayed composed, constructing the point patiently before driving a perfectly placed forehand deep into the corner. Fernandez had no answer. The score moved to 6-1, match point. The final rally perfectly captured everything that made this comeback so special. Both players traded heavy ground strokes from the baseline in a long, exhausting exchange. Neither wanted to blink first. This was exactly the type of rally Eala loves to play. She patiently moved Fernandez from side to side before disguising her intentions. Fernandez anticipated a shot toward one side of the court, but Alex brilliantly changed direction at the last moment, sending the ball into the opposite corner. Fernandez couldn't recover. The ball landed cleanly inside the line. Match over. Alexandra Ayala completed an extraordinary comeback, winning the tiebreak 7-1 after trailing 5-1 in the second set. She eliminated defending champion Leylah Fernandez and secured her place in the round of 16 of the Mubadala DC Open. It was a performance defined by resilience, composure, and relentless determination. Even when defeat seemed inevitable, Eala refused to give up. Her patience in long rallies, improved serving, and ability to capitalize on her opponent's mistakes ultimately turned the match around. Fernandez showed tremendous class after the match, congratulating Eala with great sportsmanship despite the heartbreaking defeat. It was a memorable victory for Alexandra Ayala and another statement that she belongs among the rising stars of the WTA Tour. What did you think of Alex Ayala's incredible comeback? Was this one of the best performances of her season? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss this unforgettable match together.